Oh, so much shine. Okay, I just have to... Really? Every time? Somebody's helping. Croeso friends, welcome back. This is Opus Alani and I'm Courtney. It's been a busy couple of weeks, y'all. I know I keep talking about CocoVid, but really it was such an intense weekend and a game changer just in terms of my amazing new audience. And speaking of CocoVid, you may remember how I painted myself into a bit of a metaphorical corner with all of the giveaways I had planned. I had based my suppositions upon previous growth and had anticipated each 250 subscriber interval as a lovely milestone marking the way to the end of the year. Well, I will be giving away both the aforepromised Elizabethan embroidered pocket and also both of the items that I will be making in today's video. Stick around until the end to hear the rules and how to enter and everything like that. So for now though, let's talk about today's projects. One of the things that I make a lot of, mostly because I lose them at an honestly disproportionate rate, is veils. Just plain linen oval veils. I have no idea how I lose them as fast as I do. I think I've gone through 4 in 5 years now, and I mean, it's honestly impressive. So I've gotten quite good at hemming veils, and I get a lot of questions about how exactly I make such a small rolled hem. So today I am going to walk you through 2 different techniques for achieving delicate rolled hems. The first is called Ethnie's Magic Veil Stitch, and I will in fact be hemming yet another veil with it. This stitch is a little more complicated, but the manipulation of the fabric itself is a little easier, which generally makes this my go-to method for teaching. It is, however, not a stitch that is found in the medieval period as far as my research indicates. For something that is actually historical, we can look to my second technique. It unfortunately doesn't have a snappy name like the first one, but I'll be finishing the edges of a medieval coif with this rolled hem. So, friends, pour yourself a nice big cuppa, maybe even something iced, because I don't know about you, but here in Ellenland, it's been hovering about 106 degrees, and that's 41 for you metric types. And I am having trouble drinking anything hot other than first thing in the morning. So I am actually having a cold glass of iced spearmint tisane. I know it's in a cup, but that's because I like being fancy. I just use mint that I buy in bulk from my local spicery and brew it like tea. I cool it down overnight in the fridge, add a little bit of simple syrup for a touch of sweetness, and I'm good to go. So, friends, pour yourself a big cup of something hydrating, and let's get into it. First up, the veil. I am starting with lightweight linen fabric that I have already washed and ironed. I can get 2 veils out of this piece of fabric, one for the giveaway and one to keep for myself since I seem to have lost my other veil, each being approximately 27 by 32 inches. Here I folded both veils in quarters so I can cut off all of the rounded corners at once. I'll start by measuring off a 7-inch radius curve and cutting the corner off following the line I've marked a couple layers at a time, since I can't seem to cut the entire stack all at once.
Opening it up, I don't love that shallow of a curve. I want the veil to be more oval and less rounded rectangle, so I'm going to cut the curve a little bit more deeply. Once the veil shape is how I want it to be, it's time to start the hemming process. Basically, what we're going to do here is fold the fabric over once, as if we were going to do a 1/4 inch hem. Then we will take a series of small stitches alternating along the fold and the main fabric just under where the hem is. Let me zoom in and rotate so it's a bit easier to see what I'm doing. Okay, there we go, much better. So I'm going to start by folding the edge of the fabric over towards me by about a 1/4 inch and inserting the needle where that fold will be to start off the first stitch. The rolled hem will end up being about half this width, so you can make your rolled hem wider or narrower by adjusting the width of this initial fold. Next, we are going to take the tiniest of tiny stitches on the main fabric just below the bottom of the hem, catching the barest few threads. Ideally, we want this to be nigh invisible from the right side of the fabric. Then, as you can see, we will take a stitch along the fold of the fabric, moving slightly from right to left as we go, and then another tiny stitch below the hem, and so on. The goal is to create a series of loose zigzags of thread trapping the folded hem. Once you've worked an inch or two of this zigzag stitch, it's time for the fun part. Gently but firmly pull the sewing thread in the direction of your stitching and watch the zigzag zip shut, encasing the raw edge and leaving you with a beautifully rolled hem. Continue working the stitch along the remaining hem of the veil, stopping every couple of inches to pull the zigzag stitches closed. You may find it convenient to wax your thread every once in a while, especially if you're using a linen thread like I am here. Do be aware of your tension as you stitch around the oval curves of the veil. Fabric cut on the bias like that tends to require a bit more attention paid as you tighten those zigzag stitches. I recommend laying the veil on a flat surface every once in a while, just to make sure that your tension is correct. Too tight and the veil will bunch and not lay flat. Gently run your fingers over the rolled hem to loosen the fabric along the thread. Too loose and your veil will be wavy and not lay flat. Gently draw the thread tighter, easing the fabric in until the curved hem lays nice and flat against the table.
You're making this very difficult. Yeah? You're gonna make it really hard for me.
Next up, the linen coif. I'm using a pattern similar to those seen in medieval manuscripts and cutting out 2 of these pieces from the linen left over after cutting my veils. I could sew this together by hand to make it a 100% hand-sewn project, but it's late and I've had half a glass of wine, and I'd rather make sure that I'm focusing on the important part of this project, the hem. It's okay to prioritize some parts of a hand-sewn project over others. The best project is a finished one. Once our coif construction is complete, it's time to start finishing the hem. Once again, I'm using waxed linen thread from Burnley and Trowbridge. This hem is easier to explain than Enya's veil stitch, but a little more fiddly to actually do. Basically, what you want will functionally be the tiniest double-folded hem you can possibly get, which will then be whip-stitched into place. To get this tiny hem, I will roll the fabric between my fingers until the raw edge is encased and then secure it with small whip stitches. Sometimes sometimes I do find it easier to start off with a tiny double folded hem rather than trying to roll the fabric between my fingers from the very start. Once the first couple stitches are taken, it becomes much easier to actually roll the fabric with my offhand, securing the hem in place with stitches taken by my dominant hand. This technique can be easily flipped if you are left-handed. On medieval silk veils, the stitch would actually be done around the hem, the thread wrapping over the rolled fabric to further secure the edge. I opted not to do that on this coif as I wanted the stitching to be invisible when worn. Once I've finished hemming the coif, I will add cotton twill tape ties to the corners. I'm basically felling these two pieces together and closing the raw ends of each within the finished connection so nothing will unravel. And then I'll finish the ends of the ties with a double folded hem.
Okay, here we are, friends, with not one, but two functional items of clothing, both of which I am prepared to give away to you, and also a pocket. So the way that these giveaways is going to work is as follows. If you would like to enter the pocket giveaway, leave a comment saying pocket and what event you would most love to wear said pocket to. If you would like to enter the VEIL and COIF giveaway, leave a comment saying VEIL and COIF and what your favorite hand sewing stitch is. You may enter both giveaways if you'd like, but you must leave a separate comment for each entry, as I will be tracking them separately. I will also be putting these rules into the description below, so don't worry if you missed it or are confused by my verbal instructions, rambly as they are. Thank you for coming along with me today, friends, and be sure to join me again in 2 weeks where I make yet another medieval accessory and give it away to one of you lucky folks. That one will be to officially celebrate 1,000 subscribers, and then I think I'm done with giveaways until at least 5,000. Probably. Maybe. I guess we'll see. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you are the kind of person who likes getting notifications, do hit the little bell icon so your phone will tell you each time I upload, which is every other Friday. It's like a fortnightly giveaway, except with videos instead of stuff. And remember, friends, be kind, do the work, continue supporting marginalized people, and keep creating. VEIL.